All right, welcome to the 294th District Court. My name is Chris Martin. I'm going to call this morning's criminal docket. When you hear your name, please say present or here so I can mark you down. Misty Backus, Robert Campbell, Bryce Carroll, Gustavo Miguel Castillo, Anthony Collard. They is Tuesday, right? So, Your Honor. Anthony Dale Collard, Wayne Wingo, Tammy Crocker. Yeah. Ms. Crocker, go ahead and have a seat outside. I'm going to go ahead and have a UA done before I call your case. Lindy Delaney. Lindy Cherie Delaney. That will recall. Noemi Escobar. Jennifer Gathright. Kelly Gathright. Mandy Jones. Alicia Renee Joyner, CR 2127. Ms. Joyner is in the emergency room. So we're going to reset her case. Louise Leha. Amber Morbus. James O'Brien. Ashley Olds. Lena Price. Jennifer Rollins. Shelby Stanberry. Lane Swanson. Jake Wilson. Jennifer Zanella. Johnny King. Genio Gonzalez Merlo.
Your Honor, I'm sending in for behalf of Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, custody of Walls County.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. John. We'll recall that case. Bryce Brewer. Bryce Andrew Brewer. Mr. Hawkins here. Okay. We're going to recall that case, or there may be a possible waiver of the range file on that. So we'll recall. Christian Bergwin. Let me recall that case, Mr. Hunt, so I don't stop on it. I understand that there may be a medical issue. Chasten Esslinger. Carl Stafford. Thank you, Mr. Moore. Dustin Dupree. Thank you, Mr. Weiner. Catwalla Anderson. David Shields. Diego Sharkus. Ryan Klassen. Ryan Matthews Klassen. Larry Marshall. Jesse Tashner. Here. Jeremy Treadway. Here. Then at 9:30, Miguel Angel Castro Gobea. Thank you. Drive. No, it's not. right, court calls, cause number CR 23-202. CR 24-00002, State versus Christian Kane Bergwin. And Mr. Bergwin is currently in a medical appointment. And court has Mr. Pete Hyde here, counsel for Mr. Bergwin. The court's going to excuse his appearance today for purposes of arraignment. At this time, we'll reset arraignment. Any announcements from the defense regarding discovery?
Your Honor, we visited with the DA this morning and it shows that it's been released to the portal, but it's not appearing. So they're going to resubmit and see about making sure that we get that.
Do you want me to reset this for arraignment, or do you want me to reset for pretrial and you submit a waiver of arraignment?
But we'll just do the waiver and go ahead and reset it for pretrial.
Or May 2nd, Thursday.
It'd be great.
All right. Court sets Mr. Bergwin for pretrial May 2nd at 9 a.m. with the full understanding that Mr. Hyde will be with Mr. Bergwin to allow a waiver of arraignment. And if you don't get the waiver in, then we'll just arraign him that day and we'll have to reach all that same day also.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Hyde?
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Good to see you.
You
Do you have any other counsel that's ready? More? Yes, ready. Carl Wayne Stafford, CR 23-153. Yes, sir, please. Oh, sir. I'll need that. Here, let's do this thing. You're gonna tell me something. Let's make sure.
Last time we told you that we felt like we might have a resolution about it. I know she's been in contact with the deceased family trying to some resolution on this. It's difficult to do. Reset this one more time.
No objection, Jeff. I think that'll facilitate a resolution.
All right, then what we'll do is cause number CR 23-153, State of Texas versus Carl Wayne Stafford for the docket call. The court will set Mr. Stafford for the final docket call. Jamore, you have your calendar available?
You can give me a date. One of the three of us can be here. Feel free to come.
Most time.
Month and a half.
Got either May 2nd or May 16th.
Still May 2nd, Your Honor. I think I'm going to be unavailable 16.
All right, court sets Mr. Stafford for the final docket call May 2nd. And Mr. Moore, I'm going to need Mr. Stafford to go get booked in at the Vincent County Justice Center so that we can get our tracking data assigned to him. He must have been arrested outside. So all he's got to do, here's an order. If he'll just take that to the Vincent County Jail, please. They're not going to change him out. They're just going to take him back and process it and get his digital and submit that to the state, the TRN number assigned to it so that we can track it.
We'll get him over there.
All right, so Mr. Stafford, make sure you get that done today when you leave court. When you leave today, I want you to go over to the Van Zandt County Justice Center. Your attorney has an order he's going to give you. You're going to submit that to them. They're going to take you back. They're going to get your fingerprints and they'll let you go. Okay, you understand? You're welcome. Thank you. And for the record, on Mr. Brewer, Price Brewer, Mr. Hawkins is representing Mr. Brewer, and he did file a waiver of arraignment. And pre-trial is set on May 2nd. Mr. Ellison, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right.
Steve,
Good to see you. All right, who's your client, Mr. Ellison?
Jennifer Zanella.
Now, okay. All right, court calls, cause number CR 23-133, CR 23-156, CR 23-157, State versus Jennifer Pauline Zanella. We'll get set on docket call for all three. Mr. Ellison, go ahead.
Sorry, Your Honor.
We're set for docket call today, so is there an announcement as to whether Ms. Zanella is going to resolve her case by bench trial, jury trial, or plea?
Judge, not at this time. We have, the DA's office has said that we've sent the discovery to our firm's portal. I have not seen it yet, so I've got to look at it, and then we're going to talk about a recommendation of what to do with the case. That's okay.
This is a long time to go without having discovery on your client. I mean, this is our fourth setting, and you've not seen a single bit of discovery on.
Apparently, I've made one setting, Judge, the last one, according to the DA's office, and I have not. I'm brand new with this firm. I'm not familiar with everything they're doing, and so, but they have now set me up with Tech Share and others, and of course, I know we don't use Tech Share for this county, but these obviously they have sent it on our portal, and so I will look at it this week.
All right, I'm going to set this for a final docket call, May 2nd. Are you available May 2nd?
Yes, sir.
All right, docket call is set May 2nd at 9 a.m. Anything further, Mr. Ellison?
No, Your Honor.
Thanks, sir. Dustin Lee Dupree, CR 23-210, CR 23-211, CR 23-212. Morning, Mr. Weiner.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Well, I believe Mr. Dupree is set for pre-trial on one of his cases.
It is correct.
So is it?
We are still waiting on two pieces of discovery. Both of them are, I would say, significant for the case. One is a cell phone dump. And then the other one is, without litigating the case this morning, the alleged victim's mother was at least initially charged for something arising out of this offense. And I've just requested any information the state has. And so those are the two things that we still have outstanding. Once we have those, we'll be able to assess the case, file any appropriate pretrial motions, and make further announcements.
The announcements from the state on either one of those issues.
No, Your Honor, we'll be certain to facilitate that and make sure he receives that document and also the cell phone dump information.
Do you have any views on the cell phone dump?
I believe it's already completed, Your Honor. I'm surprised, and I don't know if it's a matter of just the technology not meshing through the portal. It may be that we will need a thumb drive to get that stuff put on. But I can get in touch with Serena to go ahead and get that sorted out.
All right, so
Pardon me.
Mr. Ryder, do you want to look at something a little further, maybe like May 16th, May 28th? I've got the second available to you. I want to give you more time.
That I appreciate the more time. The problem is, and I have a vacation letter in the last week of May up through, I'll be back on like June 10th. So either mid-June or late June, or I'll have to do the second.
What about May 16th, middle of May?
Oh, I'm sorry. He did say that, didn't you? I'm sorry, Judge.
Okay, you said the last week, you have a.
I can-
Vacation, so either May 16th, or if there's no objection, we stay, we do June 13th.
We could do the 13th, that May date's the last day of school. Usually I have to run do something that day, so.
Any objection from stay?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, court says Mr. Dupree for pretrial hearing June 13th. At 9 a.m. Mr. Weiner, I have a note that your client is delinquent on his pretrial release fees by $100. That's something he can take care of today.
Sounds like he's making arrangements to take care of those frequencies.
Today.
It won't be until Thursday when I get my paycheck.
Okay, all right, so Thursday this week. All right. All right, Mr. Rashad, are you looking?
Yes.
All right, court calls number CR 22-374, CR 22-375, State versus Genio Gonzalez, Merlo. And you say that Mr. Gonzalez, Merlo is still in Duval County, Florida.
He is, Your Honor, and I shared with state records that reflect that he did go to court on January 12th. Entered into an admission of his culpability for the offense in Duval County. The court set aside sentencing for April 24th, Your Honor. So if we can set an announcement after April 24th, Your Honor, we should have everything finalized and concluded.
About May 16th, that way it gives us time if he needs to be, not sure what the disposition is going to be, but if he needs to be bench warrant, we could make arrangements for that. We all anticipate a possible bench warrant.
Judge, the agreement that we have is upon him receiving the sentencing in Duval County, Florida, I believe the state will likely move for dismissal.
May 16th.
May 16th will work.
That way we'll work. All right, court says Mr. Gonzalez for status on May 16th.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Estrada. Appreciate your work.
And then I guess you said.
Yes, thank you, Mr. One. Why, either one of you already? Would you like to call first, Mr. White? Doesn't matter. Yeah, Walla Anderson, CR 23-197, 198, 199. Sanderson set the pretrial.
This second pretrial, Judge, we didn't have anything additional. It's basically set because we didn't have DVDs at that time. That's been taken care of.
All right. Any, besides your standard pretrial motion, any need for evidentiary hearing?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Court will set Ms. Anderson then for docket call. Mr. White, you prefer. That April 18th, that's pretty quick. Need more time.
I think I need more time because we just now actually got prosecuted signed the case.
About May 2nd.
May 2nd sounds good.
It's a Thursday. All right, court says Ms. Anderson for docket call May 2nd. At 9.
Okay.
David Shields. This calls number CR 22-363. Mr. Shields, set for pretrial. Go ahead, Mr. White.
Once again, Your Honor, this was a pretrial that was set because we were having some DVD problems. Still have those problems, but it's primarily due to Paul Elliott's computer changing over. They haven't posted up. It's just that the computer I got right now can't play them. But I don't think that's going to be a problem if we could probably have the May 2nd.
You want to go ahead and set the docket call, or
If we could go ahead, I think we can make it a docket call, Your Honor.
court will set Mr. Shields for docket call on May 2nd, 9 a.m. Mr. Shields, I believe that when you were arrested outside of Bennington County, is that correct? So because of that, Mr. Shields, the Bennington County Justice Center does not have your fingerprints to report to the state, which the county is required to have a tracking number for every individual that's been arrested, so that the arrest can be tracked from the agency through the courts down to the state for criminal background information. So I'm going to give you a TRN processing order. And what this means is I want you to go to the Bennington County Justice Center, show them this, give them your ID. They're just going to take you back, put your fingers on some glass, take your fingerprints to attach to your arrest, and then you'll be done. They're not going to change you out or anything like that.
That way I don't have what happened a month ago.
I'm not sure what happened a month ago, but
He got arrested on this charge in Smith County, had to spend about 24 hours in Smith County Jail. Even though he was out on bond on this case.
okay. All right. So did we talk about that one? I think that's the one we talked about at the state. So yeah, perhaps this will prevent that issue. And I'm sorry that happened to you. Mr. White, you'll come get this order, or here you go. So you'll just take that Mr. Shields out there, you'll take your fingerprints, they'll get you in and out as fast as they can. Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll see you back on May 2nd.
Your Honor, I believe that's all.
Yes, I think that's all you have, Mr. White. Diego Sharkus, CR 23-205-206. All right, Mr. Sharkus is set for pretrial.
Your Honor, we're gonna need a evidentiary hearing on this. I talked to Mr. Harwell about it yesterday. We'll have a motion to suppress and file before the end of the day. But we're still hopeful that we can come to an agreement without it.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so what we'll do is I'm going to set this for the May. All right, we're going to set this with evidentiary hearing docket on May 30th. If the motion to suppress isn't filed, then we'll also take a docket call that day.
It'll be filed, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Could you please repeat the cause?
Yes, cause numbers CR 23-205 and 206.
Mr. Tuck's free to go, Your Honor.
Yes, free to go. Larry Wayne Marshall, CR 23-222.
Your Honor, we're set for docket call. I talked to Mr. Hartwell about this one yesterday. Of course, obviously, Mr. Hartwell been a little indisposed. We're still trying to work through this. I think Mr. Hartwell will be in the Western docket call.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Court will set Mr. Marshall for additional docket call. To Thursday, April 18th. Well, I'm not worried about you, Marshall. I appreciate that. I'm worried about Mr. White. You and I have an understanding, so you'll be here when I ask you this year. Mr. White is the one I extended courtesy to, but I appreciate you being willing to be here.
Very quickly, Your Honor, let me check
Yes,
my schedule.
if not that day, couple days.
Why don't we do April 18th, Your Honor?
Can you do that? Is that workable for you? All right, court sets Mr. Marshall for docket call April 18th. At 9 AM. Mr. Marshall, have you signed your conditions of pre-trial release with Mr. West yet?
I've got that from earlier.
I need that. Okay, yeah, wait, before you leave, Mr. West has conditions of pre-trial release. The court puts every individual that's provided on conditions. These are conditions that you have to comply with while you're on bond. Perhaps drug tested, report, a supervision fees, things of that nature. Mr. West will have that paperwork to provide Mr. West. Any question? Okay, so before you leave, make sure you see.
We call Mr. Treadway.
Jeremy Lynn Treadway, CR 24-8. Treadway set for pre-trial.
Your Honor, I talked with Mr. Curry on this. We're still trying to get some things. There's some, the state provided me with a, I guess the Guardify, CAC, online, and I've still got to review that. There's also, Ms. Curry is in the process of giving me a digital copy of some grand jury information, and it indicated to me that if they do just transcribe that, that I will also get a copy of that. But I do need to get the audio of that, which we haven't got, but we're moving forward on that. I'd asked the board on this for, we could, if you have a later May date.
Any objection from the state?
No.
May 28th.
That'll work.
All right, court sets Mr. Treadway for work. Pre-trial May 28th, 9. Mr. Treadway, have you signed your conditions of pre-trial release?
Your Honor, we were on pretrial release previously, released from pretrial issues. So we're not currently on.
Okay, all right, so I want you to meet with Mr. West once he's available. You'll have him, you've already been on conditions, so you're familiar with what they are. So you were released, but you're being placed back on this.
Send it back. Judge.
Mr. Treadway, Ms. Murray said you'll just come back this way and meet. If you're able to go do that. Everyone.
Action.
Jesse James Cashmere.
We're still.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. I'll recall it. I'll let y'all work through it.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Bill.
Good morning, Judge.
Well, I'm unhappy to report that the attorney is not here. He's scheduled to be here, and so I was gonna check on if there's any other availability later today. If this attorney should show up and we find out that we have a hearing today, is there any availability for you or any interpreters and schedule?
Yes, Judge. We do have plenty plenty of availability today.
Okay, all right, it's 9:45. I'm gonna go ahead. Do you have another appointment you gotta get to?
I can stand by until the end of our appointment until 10 if that's helpful.
Okay, do that, and if you wanna just mute, turn your camera off and stay where you're at, I'm not gonna put you back.
Very well.
Did you get the message I sent into the waiting room?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. It doesn't allow me to reply, but I did get it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, all right, so I'll if I'm in another case and they're not here by 10, I'll just send you a little chat and say.
Okay.
right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Ms. Northcutt, are you ready?
Yeah, no, that's a good plea on Mr. Gates.
You have it. Yes. Sir. Johnny Arthur King, CR 22-150. All right, this is call number CR 22-150, State of Texas versus Johnny Arthur King. Mr. King, if you'll raise your right hand and place your oath. Sir, do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Ms. Northcutt, for the record, you're standing in for Mr. Biggs, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Mr. King, your name is Johnny Arthur King, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. King, are you a United States citizen who reads, writes, and speaks English?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental condition?
No, sir.
In this case, you're represented by your attorneys, Mr. Kenneth Biggs and Ms. Annie Northcutt. Are you pleased with the representation they've given you?
Yes, sir.
You feel like you've had enough time to discuss your case with them to the point that you've had all of your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything about the plea paperwork that you've read over and signed today that you do not understand?
No, sir.
Ms. Northcutt, do you believe that Mr. King is confident to enter into this plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you and Mr. Biggs have explained his rights to him?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you believe that he's entering into this plea intentionally, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. King, you were originally indicted with the state jail felony offense of burglary of a building. It appears today that the recommendation from the state is that they would lower that charge and ask that you be punished under section 1244A, meaning that you would be convicted as a felon for burglary of a building, but your punishment would be assessed as a class A misdemeanor, with the state's recommendation that your sentence be 15 days confinement in the county jail, with you receiving credit for 5 days of time already served. In addition, they would be resolving a case that is titled DA 2022-110.
And Your Honor, I believe his credit is actually 6 days. I've talked to Ms. Curry beforehand. Additionally, when talking to the state, we've wanted to present unilaterally to the court's permission for him to check in to serve his jail time on April 12th. I believe there was a concern about, he's been in a car wreck. He has a brain injury and has some neurological and speech therapy appointments between now and the end of the week. And then the state's concern was the eclipse on Monday, but there's going to be an influx of arrests on Monday. And so if we could have,
So,
that's the belief, Your Honor, that there is going to be an influx of criminal activity, but I don't want to put it out there in the universe. So if April 12th suits the court for a check-in date.
what's your position?
Your Honor, I do recall, there is a part on the judgment that is marked out with the 5 days with 6. I just don't think it hit the middle block. And no objection to, Mr. King checking in on the call.
All right, Mr. King, the range of punishment for a state jail felony under section 1244A is confinement in county jail for not more than 365 days and a fine not to exceed $4,000. Let's see in your case that there's no recommendation for a fine, so zero fine, zero restitution, $290 court costs, $135 in reimbursement. Mr. King, is that your understanding of the plea agreement and what you're asking the court to approve today?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. King, at this time, I would ask you, how do you plead to burglary of a building? Are you pleading guilty to that crime because you are in fact guilty of committing that crime? Mr. King, has anybody threatened, forced, or pressured you to plead guilty? All right, the court does accept the defendant's plea of guilt. Ms. Northcutt, any objection to the stipulation of evidence?
No, no.
Stipulation of evidence is admitted and the court does take judicial notice of the defendant's judicial confession. Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, just that there was a victim impact statement. I wanted to make sure the court had a copy. If not, I can print one out for you now.
No, I do have that and I have reviewed that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Also.
Yes.
Yes.
I just
check.
expand it theoretically.
All right, the court, having reviewed the evidence, finds that there is sufficient evidence to convict Mr. King of this offense. Court hereby follows the plea agreement, convicts Johnny Arthur King of burglary of a building, assesses his punishment pursuant to section 1244A of the Texas Penal Code at 15 days confinement in the Vanson County Jail. The court awards Mr. King 6 days credit for time already served. Orders him to serve the remainder of that sentence beginning on April 12th, 2024 at noon, 12 p.m. And Mr. King, when you report to the Van Zandt County Jail, you'll need to report with a copy of this judgment and a copy of your photo ID so that they can verify you are who you say you are. You understand that? So, okay. Court assesses court costs in the amount of $290 and reimbursement fees of $135. Mr. King, you're hereby remanded to the custody of the sheriff so he can carry out terms and conditions of the sentence. Come on forward and I'm going to have you fingerprinted and we'll get you copies of this paperwork. Let him do it. Just listen to what he's telling you. Charles, let me return this. Big phone. Hey, you need to go over here with them. Go this way, that way they give you copies of that, and then you'll be good to go. Yes, thank you, Ms. Marquez.
Mr. Northcutt, can I speak to you before you go?
I need to run into you. Yeah.
I'll like. You. Pop back in. We reached out to attorneys. Not students responsible for doing that since 9 a.m. So if we need you, then I'll send that call and schedule.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Judge.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Of course. I'll see you next time.
Yes, please. All right, this is State of Texas versus Mr. Wayne Wingo. All right, Mr. Wingo, you've been placed on the court's docket for an allegation of non-compliance with pretrial release conditions. Your attorney, Mr. Schmidt, is not here, he's on vacation this week. I'm gonna reset this hearing until Tuesday, April 16th at 9 a.m. Schmidt will be here with you that day. He can discuss these allegations of marijuana and alcohol use in January intoxication. So we can sign this notice of setting that you're going to come back on April 16th at 9 a.m. You're free to go. Andy Jones. This is cause number CR 1797. All right, Mrs. Jones, I see that you complied with all the court's orders from your sanctions court. I'm going to reset you, and I want you to do the same thing that you've been doing. Pay 65 to probation, 55 to your court collections, and 10 hours for community service. Okay, I'm going to bring you back. On Thursday, May 2nd. Mr. O'Brien. All right, Mr. O'Brien, you've applied with your probation to court collections. You worked in your community service, everything looks really good. Let's come back again on May 2nd. Let's do that same thing. 65 to probation, $60 to your court collections, and 10 hours community service, okay? Ashley Olds. On CR 2302. All right, Souls, I see that you paid your 166 to probation, your 123 to court collections. Let's do the same thing. I'll have you back on May 2nd.
Is there any possible way I can do Zoom? I've taken over 3 stores, hiring for 8, so it's just a lot of responsibility. And I'm working Monday through Friday now. I'm not off on Tuesdays anymore.
Tell you what, if you get these things paid before May 2nd, then I'll allow you periods. Okay, so get that in the Friday before May 2nd. I'll allow you periods.
Thank you.
She's already done all service. Shelby Stanberry. Stanberry, this is CR 21-00094 Sanctions Court. All right, Ms. Stanberry, I see that I ordered you to do 16 hours of community service. It's reported that you work 30. Is that correct? Good job working additional. That's going to help you get your delinquency satisfied quicker. In order to expire on time, it says that you would have to work 21 hours the rest of the way. You want to expire on time. So we're going to set that as the goal. Okay, so 21 hours. I'll have you back on May 2nd. All right, where are you doing yours at? Heritage Park, Edgewood, or where?
No, I do first Monday. I'm doing first Monday on Thursday and Friday this week, and then I'll have 3 hours left, and I'm gonna do that in Heritage Park on Saturday.
Excellent. Okay, great. I like it when you already have a plan. Lane Swanson. All right, Lane, I see that you paid your probation, you paid your 125 to court collections, you did your 10 hours community service. Let's come back on May 2nd, do that same thing. And I think that I'm going to talk to the probation department. I feel pretty confident that 1 more month of compliance, they're going to recommend that you be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 65 to probation. Or 10 hours community service. Kelly Gathright. All right, Mr. Gathright, I see that you paid your probation fees, you paid your $60 court collection fees, and you did your 15 hours of community service. I'll bring you back on May 2nd. We'll do the same thing, 60 to probation, 60 to court collections, 10 hours community service.
Okay, I believe we actually paid a little more. I think we doubled up on this last month
Double up on what?
on our payments.
That's just what you're ordered to pay. You can pay over.
Okay,
But I'm
okay,
gonna have you pay a minimum. So
Okay.
it's not like paying off credit card, or you pay the quicker you get out.
all right.
All right. Ms. Gathright? Ms. Gathright, I see that you've also complied with your probation fees, complied with your court collection fees. And you're doing alternative book reports for your benefits. So we'll do that same thing for May 2nd. And your probation officer, it says book report for 20 hours of community service.
Okay, I did too. Do I get 20 per hour per book?
I'm gonna let you work with that out with probation. They didn't report in here exactly what it is. I can't remember what our conversation was, but it says book report for 20 hours of community service
Okay.
for May. So May 2nd, and I'm saying get with your probation officer, they'll tell you that.
Okay, I asked her and she told me that her director and you were deciding how many.
We are, and I can't remember what we decided. She's not standing to my right, so I can't ask her.
Okay.
60 and 60. Amber Morbus. All right, Ms. Morphus, I see that you complied with your probation fees, you complied with court collection fees. You came up short on your community service about 13 hours. What happened here?
We had 7 people quit at work, so I had to work like 7 days open and close. So it like interfered with the.
All right, so I'm gonna reset you for May 2nd. And let's do 65 to probation, 50 to your court collections like last month. And then let's do 25 hours community service. So this is the end of March, got the end of March, all of April, get that done, okay? Jake Wilson. All right, Mr. Wilson, I see that you paid your probation fee, you paid your court collection fee. Looks like you came up short on your community service. I ordered 10, you did 5. What happened?
I just procrastinated and got rained out at work and worked Saturdays and they wanted to go to my son's soccer game this past Saturday.
We'll reset you to May 2nd. I need $60 to probation, $50 to court collections, and 20 hours community service.
Okay.
Travis,
Yes, sir.
Misty Backus. It looks like you paid your probation, you paid your court collections, you did your weekly counseling, that's good. Community service, we came up short, wrapping up service.
I have migraines and I'm finally prescribed me with the right medication to get out of them.
So you don't think that'll be a problem anymore.
No,
All right, I'm gonna reset you to May 2nd, $65 probation, 115 for collections, 24 hours community service. Mr. Castillo? This is positive for CR 22-319, State versus Gustavo Castillo, Sanctions Court. Mr. Castillo, is this your first time in Sanctions Court? Yes, sir. Do you know what Sanctions Court is?
Failure to comply.
Failure to comply. Do you know what the purpose of Sanctions Court is?
Decide what happens next.
In a sense, but even greater than that, Sanctions Court is a program designed to really intervene at the first sign of noncompliance in hopes of preventing a motion to revoke to jail or prison. Yes, sir. So it's an intervention program. Okay. And so the probation department is within their rights to file a motion to revoke when you miss payments, when you don't do community service. They're within their rights to do that, but the program we have here is we want to know, is there a way that we can intervene with people who are not taking probation seriously to help them get back on the right track and potentially avoid either A, felony convictions, or B, felony incarceration. So you've been, you're on what, a second degree felony offense of arson? Sir. So looks like you are facing up to 10 years in prison if you are revoked. My notes say that you're not making regular payments towards your probation fees or your clerk fees, and that you've not worked your community service since December. Sir, tell me about the money issue. Is there a money issue?
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, me and my wife are currently splitting up, so I actually just moved out this weekend. And it's just, I got caught up, I missed counseling, got caught up on that, and then now trying to get caught up on everything else. So make payments on both today, pay off probation, or probation, and then catch up on court costs.
I mean, are you working?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the financial ability to make these payments?
Yes, sir.
Payments are 65 in probation, $50 to court collection. So you're looking at 110 a month.
Yes, sir.
So you can't do that.
Yes, sir.
And then tell me about the community service. You started working community service. You've worked 167 hours. So you put in a lot of time to do community service. Unfortunately, you've got, 500, about 350 to go. Sir. So, I mean, you're familiar with it. Why have you dropped off for the last few months?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, just busy with the kids. We have a new kid, work, just life, one thing after another. It's kind of, I didn't like to get community service, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. You know, it'd be worse though.
Prison. Yes, sir.
You would not see your kid for a very long time if you're in prison.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be good for your mental health, would it?
Nah.
Certainly wouldn't be good for your kid. Right? Does your kid need you?
Yes, sir.
How many kids do you have?
5.
5. How old are they?
13, 9, 4, 3, and under 1. She's like 2 months old.
So do you support all of your kids?
Yes, sir.
You love all your kids? You like spending time with all your kids?
Yes, sir.
I know it's a pain in the butt to do community service, but you agreed to do it. It's not court ordered. So what would be worse is if you went to prison and all of those kids didn't get to see you for a number of years.
Right.
You're looking at up to 10. I mean, that's what you agreed to do, 10 years. So it's not like, well, maybe I get revoked, maybe I get 2, you get 10.
No, understood.
Yeah, so the moment you think, man, it sure is a pain in the butt to go to community service, I want you to stop and look at all your kids and go, what would they have me do?
Yes, sir.
Skip some time with them so I have more time with them, or spend a little time with them to give up a lot of time with them.
Right.
You seem like a smart guy. Be a smart guy.
Gotta be.
So let's be a lot smarter going forward.
Understood.
Okay. I'm gonna bring you back on May 2nd, and that's what I'm gonna expect you to have done. And all these things are to be turned into the probation department Friday prior to, they close at noon on Fridays.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so the faster you get all this done and get it turned in, the more likely this report comes out glowing for you. And I come in and I say, hey, great, thanks for doing what you said you're gonna do. Now let's look at the next one. We'll do that a few times until you can show me that you can get back on track without my intervention. You can do that, I'll put you back on, I'll get out of your hair, I'll let you go back and do what you said that you're gonna do. That makes sense? All right, we'll see you back on May 2nd, 65 for probation, $50 to court collections, 10 hours community service, okay? And just prioritize your probation. Plea, all right, Mr. Leha, let's see, I gave you a 6-day buyback option, meaning that I ordered you to pay $250 for probation. If you didn't do that, I was gonna sentence you to 3 days in jail. And then I ordered you to do 30 hours community service. If you didn't do that, I would order you to 3 days in jail. So you did exactly what I ordered you to do, so you don't have to worry about serving the jail time. The problem that the probation department wants me to address is you're being supervised out of Dallas County, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because we're dealing with another probation office in much larger jurisdictions, sometimes it's harder to get information in and out of there. And so that delay is meaning that's making it difficult on my probation department to make sure that you're in compliance.
Right.
That means that whenever you get all your hours done, you need to get them done as soon as far in advance as you can, prior to Friday before you come to work, so that they can confirm the probation department up there and make sure that they get everything ordered that you've done. So I want to bring you back on May 2nd. So I need the same thing, 220 probation and 30 hours community service. We're gonna do, again, the 6 days in jail, 3 for each, okay? You do this a few times to show me that I don't have to threaten you with jail to get things done, then I'll take that jail threat away. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, 220 probation, 30 hours service. No court costs, except it's called 3-day buyback, 3 days jail. Take your approach. Right, Ms. Price, let's see here for sanctions board, CR 2188. Let's see, what I want to do is I want you to come back on May 2nd, Ms. Price, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do, these are amounts that you have to do every month in order to expire on time.
Yes, sir.
In order to get completed on time, this is the bare minimum. Okay, meaning if you miss one or you pay less, or you do less community service, it's just gonna make those minimums go up. So we calculated this based on what you need to do to complete your probationary period on time. You're gonna have to pay $70 in probation fees, right? You're gonna have to pay $65 for the elections. You're gonna have to work some hours. So what I'm gonna do is, before we do that, I'm gonna put a day of jail on each one of those, okay? For everyone not done, will be a day in jail.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. Thanks. Lindy Delaney. Is Lindy Delaney here? Oh, yes, please. Amy Crocker. All right, Ms. Crocker.
I made my payment this morning. I know I didn't, I was supposed to have made it by Friday, but I haven't been feeling well.
Yeah, last sanctions board, we talked about the money issues. I think did I ask you to come up with a plan on how you were gonna pay things off? Did you write one out? Can I
Yes,
see
sir.
it? Sparkle, this isn't really a plan. This is more of a restatement of what your probation conditions say.
Yes, sir.
I need to know, like, the plan is, for instance, if I want to buy a new car, I have to come up with a plan for a new car. I'm gonna have to come up with a plan of how much money I'm gonna make to buy that car. Based on how many hours I'm gonna work, how much I'm gonna get paid by the hour, how many days I'm gonna work, how many hours I'm gonna put in a week, how much money I'm gonna save, how much money I'm not gonna save. If I wanted to buy a new truck and someone said, hey, what's your plan for doing it? And I say, my plan is for me to buy it. My plan is to make the payments. I don't really have a plan. So I'm gonna send this back to you. This is not a plan. I want you to write out what your job is.
Yes, sir.
Or how you're gonna get a job, extra jobs, how much you're gonna try to make, how much money you're gonna try to put. I want actual numbers.
Okay.
Alright. So I'm gonna order you to come back on May 2nd,
Sir,
and I need
Plan.
hang on, listen, I need $90 to probation, $80 to restitution,
yes, sir.
and I want the written plan on how you're gonna pay off restitution.
Yes, sir.
And listen, I'm going to put this as a 3-day jail buyback, okay?
Okay,
That means if you don't pay your probation fees, your restitution fees, and bring the written plan for every one of those you don't comply with will be a day in jail.
yes, sir.
And it has to be turned in,
By the Friday before.
yeah, by Friday by noon.
Okay,
And they close at noon.
yes, sir.
I would say Thursday.
Yes, sir.
I would turn it in by Thursday. Okay, you understand what we're doing?
Yes,
For
sir.
every one of those you don't do, will be 3 days, will be a day in jail for each one.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Probation is 90, restitution is 80. And then dress under, you're welcome, Scarlett. Dress under, are you moving slow today?
Yes, sir, back hurt,
From your what?
back hurt.
Back sir, what'd you do?
It's just from work, lifting all these heavy trailer tires, and that's my lower back.
All right, let's see, at the last sanctions court, we did a 3-day buyback, did 155 to probation, you complied with that. 110 to clerk, it says you failed to comply, and 20 hours community service, it says that you failed to comply, you contest either one of those?
Got the paper for clerk. I paid her yesterday. She said she was gonna put the paper with you. But I guess I didn't have, but I got the paper right here and, for the community service, I was sick there that, I had spoken with her yesterday, cause I came up here to see if I could try to talk to you. See if I couldn't work out a deal, I plan on doing all the first Monday. I've already got the green light for work to take off, so Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for first Monday community service, and that should knock out all my community service hours.
Say what I'll do. So you're late in your payment, you know that, right? You're late because it's due last.
Yes, I understand it was due that Friday, I couldn't get off work in time to come up here because of the clerk closed at 4.
Works here till 5:00. All right, this is what we'll do. And just so you know, if you want to work a deal with me, you have to go through my agents. These are my agents, these are my probation. I don't cut deals in my office. That's not.
No, it's there.
That's not how it works. So I mean, nobody, whether you're a criminal case or a civil case, can come up here by themselves and say, hey, judge, I want to talk to you. What, I want to work out a deal. I understand what you want to do, but you've got to do that through the probation office.
Yes, sir.
That's the way that works. So
I asked Ms. Burns, to see if that could be possible, and she told me to ask you. When I spoke to her,
you can negotiate with, you can negotiate with on this, whatever he wants to ask. All right, so Mr. Esslinger, I'm going to order, we're gonna do 1 day in jail for your non-compliance on the community service. All right, I'm gonna give you credit even though you were late on your money, because you did pay. Even though it's late, so for next month, we're gonna do We're gonna do, gonna do 3-day buyback, or the 150 to probation, I'm sorry, 155 to probation. 110 to 110 to the clerk for collections. And 20 hours community service. We'll do a day in jail for each one of those. All right, so tell me this. So what is it that you want to propose?
Like I said, I got the green light for taking off work Thursday and Friday, so first Monday community service. I think what I owe is 40 hours total on community service, and I'm done with that. So I wanted to do the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so I can just get all of it done, so that way that won't be an issue on them. It's just all money from there, and so that way I can quit missing work. I need to make the money to pay.
Okay, so what's the deal on that? What are you asking me to do?
I was gonna say to waive the 1 day in jail, that way if I miss, what I said I'm gonna do, then you can tack on as many days for jail you like.
All right, so that's your offer. I'll send you an offer that's not really an offer. If I UA you today, you're clean, then I'll do that.
Okay.
All right. So I'll waive the 1 day in jail if you are negative today. And then you're saying that you'll have all of your community service hours done before May.
Sir,
So that's what do you got, 40 to go? Is that what you said?
I believe so.
My thing says you're 40 hours, my thing says you have 70 hours to go total, but you're 40 delinquent. You're gonna try to work all first Monday.
Yes.
What do you get? You get 50 for that.
Okay.
So you'll still have 20 for the next month.
Okay, I'll see what I can do to get that knocked out as well.
So do you want me to say, I'm just gonna say 20 hours. If you do 50, great. If you do 50, great. So it's gonna be May 2nd, 155 on probation, 110 to the clerk, 20 hours community service. You do over and above all those things, great. And then I will not assess a day in jail here. All right, so I come back here and see the ladies and all. Get that taken care of. Esquivel. So Sanctions Court CR 21-286. Let's see, Ms. Esquivel did a 3-day buyback. Applied by paying 180 to probation, applied by paying 300 to clerk. You came up short, you had 20 hours community service, you did 14 and a half. What happened on that?
I started school, so I'll work in the morning after work. I try to make up the hours separate.
Where do you go to school at?
In Garland,
Well, good one.
I have to renew my,
So nursing. When did you start that?
like 2 weeks ago.
How long was the school?
1 more month.
1 month.
Or kind of.
All right, Ms. Esquivel, I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit for that. I'm not gonna sanction you for coming up short since you started school. So what we'll do is for next month, we'll do 120 to probation, 300 to the clerk. And then we'll do 15 hours community service. Now, I want you to know that the community service is going to add up. if you're not knocking out the 20 and the 30 that you need to be doing now, you've got 350 total to do. You've done 81. So you've got like 270 or so left to go. And you're set to expire in January. So that means that your monthly minimum on your community service is going to get larger. And that's going to keep you from completing your probation on time in January. So at some point, and it may not be right now, but at some point, you're gonna have to really start putting in a lot of community service to get it knocked out. Otherwise, being an extension, that's gonna cost you more time. Okay, so for next month, on May 2nd, 15 hours community service, 120 to probation, 300 to the public.
Okay.
Anthony Collard. Anthony Collard here. Mr. Lane. All right, this is Sanctions Court CR 2399. Mr. Lane, tell me why you were late.
The power steering pump blew up on our truck,
The what did?
power steering pump. So I had to wait on my ride to come pick me up. They had to come from Tyler, then we had to come from Lee.
All right, let's see, the last time you were on board for sanctions, we ordered $90 for probation. Light of that, we ordered $35 for compliance with questions. It says if you fail to comply without enough time. Did you pay your 35 for collection?
I'll pay it today. I thought I'd already paid it, but
It also says you didn't do your 10 hours community service.
after the surgery, I got an infection and I haven't been able to do much until about 5 days ago, so. I plan on working this coming first Monday and stuff, so.
And it says that you didn't appear for your evaluation back in. It says you were a no-show for your evaluation that you scheduled back in December for your substance abuse evaluation.
Thought we rescheduled that.
Well, you scheduled it in December. No-show.
But I did reschedule it in February and then I ended up having that first surgery, so.
All right, so I'm gonna set you for May 2nd, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to reschedule your substance abuse evaluation. You to start your next drug offender education program that starts on April 12th. I want you to pay $90 to probation, 35 to court collections, and 10 hours community service. That'll make probation. Drug offender education program begins April 12th. So you can get enrolled in that, make sure that you know where that's at. Talk to your probation officer about that.
Yes, sir.
Any questions about those things? I'll sign this and we'll see you back on May 2nd.
Negative.
Yeah. Oh, I'm missing. Just let me read your video. So you were negative on everything, so I'm not gonna post that a day in jail for your non-compliance. But you have those other three things that I expect to be done. And I think what was it, 20 hours computer service? Like I said, if you do all first Monday, you get 50, it's to your better. All right, we'll see you there. See you. Excellent. Okay, thank you, Ms. Bill. I'm gonna go ahead and swear you in, and then we're gonna wait for the attorney. I think he's about to zoom in. Ms. Bill, if you'll raise your right hand and state your name and license number for the record. Ms. Bill, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will make a true translation of the statements of the board, questions of counsel, and the testimony to be given by the witness in the matter now on trial to the best of your skill and judgment, so help you God? Check.
Good morning, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, and I apologize. I had a freaking radiator hose busted or radiator busted or something this morning and had a long morning. So I apologize, Judge. And I was gonna try to get there as quickly as I could, but they told me that Zoom was okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, under the circumstances you were dealing with, I didn't have a problem with that. I also consulted with the state. They had no objection to it. So let me go ahead and call this case for the record. And Mr. Balderrama, just so that you're aware, I've already sworn in Miss Bill. She is a licensed master court interpreter with OCA. And Mr. Gobea is here in the courtroom. I believe that you can see him.
Yes, sir.
Since for the interpretation. So that's already been taken care of. This is cause number CR 23-00166. State of Texas versus Miguel Angel Castro Gobea for docket call. Any announcements from the state or defense regarding docket calls?
Just briefly, Judge. I spoke with I forget the prosecutor's name, but uh, I finally got my expert report and all that. Talked to her a little bit, and we still haven't come to an agreement yet. We're hoping we will at some point, but as of right now, no. So I would just say at this point we would just ask for it to be set up for a trial date or so.
Anything to state?
No, Your Honor, that's fine.
All right, so Mr. Balderrama, I can give you two options. One, I can set you for a final docket call in which you and the state will discuss the case and let me know whether or not you are going to reach an agreement. Because I don't set things for trial and then allow pleas. So.
Yes, sir.
Another 30 days or so to decide whether or not you want to reach a plea. If not, then I can set you on the jury trial docket. Otherwise, if I set you on the jury trial docket today, the only way that you can plead going forward would be an open plea.
Going open to the court.
Or open to the jury.
Okay, no, I completely understand. Just so yes, let's do that. Let's have a final docket call. And I'll reach out to the prosecutor again and to the state again and hopes of seeing if we can get some common ground somewhere.
Let's set this, I don't want to set this off too long. It's only a few weeks, but how would you feel about April 16th or April 18th?
April 16th or I'm sorry, Judge, what was the other date?
Yes, April 16th or 18th.
Let me take a quick look. Give me just a second. 16th. Actually, nothing's set on the 18th, so the 18th would be perfect.
Okay. Let's set then on April 18th for a final docket call. Let's set this at 10 a.m. That way we can make this meeting for word and the interpreter. And so final docket call is going to consist of an announcement from the defendants on how the defendant wants to resolve this, either a plea agreement on that date or a future date.
Yes, sir.
Or request for a bench trial or a jury trial or an open plea, something of that nature. So
Yes, sir.
I expect all the negotiations to be done by that. And
And
also,
absolutely, Judge.
and also for the record, I've had the pretrial release department conduct a drug test of Mr. Castro that was negative on the drug test.
Okay, thank you for that heads up, Judge. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so Mr. Castro Govea, we'll see you back on April 18th at 10 a.m. Make sure that you stay in contact with Mr. Baldwin and your pretrial release officer. Do you have any questions, sir?
Thank you, Judge. Am I free to go?
Yes, you're free to go. Thank you, Mr. Baldwin.
Thank you, Judge.
Well,
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bill. I appreciate you accommodating being available for those months. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. All right, court's going to stand in recess until I hear back from Vince the state on Mr. Tash. I believe he's the last one.
I believe they're working on paperwork, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Court's in recess. All right, court call files number CR 21-393, State of Texas versus Jesse James Tapner. What's the announcement, Mr. White?
Your Honor, we have come to an agreement. State's going to withdraw the motion to adjudicate. We have signed an amendment to the conditions of probation. Fire, 2-year extension. 27, March 7th, and Mr. Patcher is not allowed to leave the halfway house without.
And Your Honor, I have the motion.
And probation's in agreement. All right, Mr. Tasha, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Sir, do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sir. Thank you, sir. Glory. Glory. Mr. Tasha, you've heard the agreement that Mr. Wyatt has stated to the court. Yes, sir. Is that your agreement with the state? Yes, sir. Does anybody threaten, force, or pressure you to make that agreement? No, sir. Are you asking the court to approve this agreement because that's what you want to do? Yes, sir. All right, court will grant the state's motion to withdraw the motion to adjudicate guilt. The court hereby extends the defendant's community supervision for a period of 2 years. As a condition of community supervision, orders that you will continue to live in the halfway house. And that prior to moving out of the halfway house, you will see court's permission. Court also makes other amendments to the financial conditions M2 and M5 concerning probation fees and your analysis fees. I have signed the order withdrawing, extending your community supervision. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. All right, go up here and see the probation officers. They'll get you a copy of that. Read it again. All right, that does conclude this morning's criminal dockets. I don't believe we had anyone that failed to appear that wasn't on sanctions court. So the court will stand in recess till 1:00.
Thank you.
Thank you.